Hi guys, I'm Johnny from CineD, and today on my table I have the new SIRUI Sniper autofocus lenses. This is the first time that SIRUI is making autofocus lenses, so I was very curious to see how those lenses performed in the field. As you can see, I'm on the go, a little bit tired, but everything is okay. Yet it was very important for me to share with you guys my findings. So let's dive right into this. SIRUI just launched a new Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign for the new Sniper autofocus lenses. But before diving into the review itself, let's talk a little bit about specifications. So first of all, currently in the line there are three lenses, 23, 33 and 56 millimeter. Those are the current focal lengths. SIRUI already confirmed that they are about to make two more focal lengths, the 16 millimeter and the 75 millimeters. Since we are talking about APS-C or Super 35 lenses, I think it's really a welcoming move, especially the 16 millimeter. Me personally, I really like taking wide angle shots, and that's what I was a little bit missing with the current 23 millimeter. But let's leave this aside. Those lenses are not here yet, the 16 and the 75 millimeter, and let's concentrate on the 23, 33 and 56 millimeter. So those lenses will come in three basic colors: black, white and metal. And I've seen already prototypes of the three colors. They look really nice, actually very, very nice. So it's depending on the camera you have and your personal desire, you can get any of those three colors. In the Indiegogo campaign, you'll be able to buy a single lens or the entire kit, which consists of three lenses. Each lens will come with a lens hood, and if you buy the entire kit, it will come packed in a case. In terms of specifications, SIRUI really tried to unify it all across the line of the new lenses. For example, each lens will weigh around 385 grams. For all lenses, the outer front diameter is 58 millimeter. And by the way, I was asked before what is the outer diameter of the ring itself. Well, this is a bit not relevant, because you will not be able to clamp anything on the lens, like matte box for example. It's just too thin, so you will have to use an ND filter for example. Aperture is rated at a fast f1.2, and this will allow you to achieve two things. First of all, if you're working at night, you will not need to take your camera ISO very high, and like this of course you can avoid some additional noise in the picture. But if you're working in daytime and you would like to isolate your subject from the background, it will be extremely easy to achieve. All you need is a strong ND filter, and that's it. The minimum focus distance depends on the lens that you are using, and the best among the three is the 23 millimeter with 0.3 meter. And now the moment of truth. We did with the lenses two things. First of all, at our office, we put them against a chart to see how sharp they are, also check the chromatic aberration, and last but not least, to see how the bokeh behaves. And then just take footage outside to see the image quality, to see if there is some identity to the image. And here I have really surprising results, because at the office against the charts, for example, those lenses, optically speaking, do not perform really well. On the other hand, when you work with them, the image is very appealing. How can it be? Well, let's check it out. Let's start with sharpness. As a rule of thumb, when you work with any of those lenses at open aperture at f1.2, the lenses are simply not sharp. Not in the middle and not on the edges. If you want better results, you have to jump to f2.8 or really f4.0. This is the point when the image starts to be sharp, especially in the middle. In terms of bokeh, I have some concerns here. As you can see, in the middle you do have this circle, but when you move the light across the frame, the circle becomes a leaf shape. So all in all, the bokeh is not unified. chromatic aberration is rather visible too in all three lenses. When it comes to focus breathing, I have good news. It's barely noticeable. If I have to conclude the optical performance of those three lenses, I would say it's so-so, but there's much more into it. Let's see how they behave in the field. So in the field, I was mainly checking two things. I wanted to see first how the autofocus performs, and also check the picture aesthetic, simply to see how the lens look. Is it nice? Is it appealing? Is it too modern, or it has some characteristic into it? So let me start with the autofocus performance of those lenses. And before I continue, I want to note one important thing. Those lenses are coming in 3 mounts: Sony E, Nikon Z, and Fujifilm X. I was working with the Fujifilm X, or actually the Fujifilm X-H2. Why am I saying this? It can be that lenses with other mounts will perform differently with other cameras, like a Sony camera or Nikon camera. I cannot guarantee how those lenses will work on other models. So if you're looking, or if you're an owner of a Sony E or Nikon Z and you are interested to know how those lenses will work with your camera, you might have to look elsewhere for the information. For Fujifilm X, all in all, those lenses are working really nice. But again, one thing, SIRUI will have a list of compatible cameras with their lenses. When I tried the XS20, for example, with those lenses, it didn't work. The lens was hunting like crazy. Then I found out that this lens is, camera, the XS20, is actually not compatible yet with those lenses. So you'll have to do your homework before you purchase or before you order those lenses from Indiegogo. So in the field, the autofocus performance in general was quite okay. There's a bit of inconsistency in performance, meaning sometimes it's working really good, and at times I was asking myself, what is the camera and lens are doing? Why are they not really communicating? But all in all, the results are satisfying. But there is something else that I want to talk about, because when you have a lens with some electronic connectivity to the camera body, it's not only about autofocus. There is more information that's supposed to go between the lens and the camera and vice versa. And one of those, it's about the IBIS. And because those are a single focal length lenses, the camera needs to know the focal length of the lens in order to optimize the performance of the IBIS. And I felt as if this type of information is simply missing. So when I was working handheld, things that I'm used to do with the IBIS engaged on, usually looks very smooth. Here, I always got this micro jitter. So I have a feeling that the lens, the SIRUI Sniper lens, and at least in the Fujifilm X-S2, they simply did not communicate. And when I came back home to the hotel and I looked at the image, I was like, and that led me to work with a tripod. Another phenomenon with those lenses, and it's quite prominent with the 56mm, there's some sort of halation. It's almost like somebody put a weak promised filter on the lens, like 1/8. It depends how you look at this. I actually liked it. It's almost like having a prominent promised on your lens, but maybe others will not like it so much. You have to take it into account, especially when you film against the light. You will see this type of halation quite prominent. And this is the thing with lenses. I meet so many manufacturers who are striving to make the perfect lens. What is actually a perfect lens? A perfect lens is something that has no optical mistakes or very sharp. The thing is, when you have the perfect lens, you might also have a lack of identity. I'm talking about the image. The image will be actually very boring. And you know, I'm a bit torn here, because on one hand, the optical performance of those lenses is, as I said before, okay. But when you work with them in the field, you know what, even on f1.2, there's like a little magic. Of course, it doesn't look super sharp, we know why, but there's something into it. It has like this kind of creamy, dreamy look. which, you know what, it's quite nice. So it all depends what you are looking for. It all depends on the project you're filming. It all depends on your artistic desire. So it's really up to you guys. I mean, you know that you will have to sacrifice the optical performance, and on the other hand, the images, personally, I like them. They had a lot of identity. So yeah, that's it. And in regards to pricing, during this Indiegogo campaign, SIRUI is running a special offer. You can buy either the single lens or the kit of 3 in a really much reduced price. One last thing. The previous lenses from SIRUI were the Nightwalker, and I have a feeling after I look at the footage and when I look at there are a lot of indicators for me that those lenses are actually very, very similar. I will not be surprised if within the body, the lens body, the elements that they're using inside are very similar, because the end result is very similar. That's it. I know that some of you want to know about the build quality. Personally, I had no issue with the build quality. I really liked it. And there's also a USB connector to update the lens with firmware. So I know that SIRUI is working really hard in order to bring additional models that will be compatible with the lens, and also to improve whatever is possible. And what is possible, we might know in the future. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. And again, I'm sorry about this surrounding, but all in all, I really did my best to bring you whatever I know and feel about those lenses. Good luck. Thank you for watching.